Hello and welcome to Detone Gamers channel. I'm going to react to top 15 scariest jump scares in video games. See if I get scared or not. By the way, hit the Discord link below in the description. Come hang out for a while. Let's try this.
Number 15, Thief Through the Keyhole. In the reboot of the Thief series, you once again play the role of Garrett. As you slink around the Moira Asylum, which was originally a treatment facility for the insane and other mentally ill, in search of riches you come across another locked door, which you investigate through the keyhole before entering, when you are met with the sudden appearance of a ghostly-looking woman telling you that you shouldn't be there. There's not much backstory to the spooky spirit, but she's pretty terrifying.
That scared me.
Number 14, Resident Evil 4 Lake Monster. Delago, Spanish for from the lake, was a massive plaga-infected amphibian that lived in a lake near a Spanish village. In the popular survival horror Resident Evil 4, as the player, when walking through the outskirts of the village, you start approaching a lake, in which you briefly see fish swimming in a group. What many people would tell first-time players is that you shoot the fish to obtain certain items. After shooting at the water for a few seconds, Delago shoots out of the water, devours the character, and scares the shit out of you. When this game was ported to PS3 and Xbox 360, the jump scare would award the player with an achievement, ironically titled, Don't Shoot the Water. Number 13, BioShock Infinite, Boys of Silence. The Boys of Silence are young men fitted with sense-enhancing helmets and are forced to act as watchmen. They are referred to as Elizabeth's children. They are in fact young men brainwashed from childhood and forced into total subservience. Thanks to Elizabeth's intervention, they also have limited control over tears, allowing them to partially control the lunatics of Comstock House and teleport out of existence after raising the alarm.
BioShock games are good.
Booker DeWitt encounters them in Colombia during the course of BioShock Infinite. Once he reaches an alternative Comstock House, the Boys of Silence do not actually engage in combat. Their primary purpose is to keep watch over the facility, and the similarly brainwashed men in George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson masks, known as the Lunatics. Rather than fighting Booker directly, Boys of Silence summon the men to fight for them. If Booker enters a Boy of Silence's line of sight, it will stand still and focus on him. If he stays for too long, gets close to the boy, or attacks it, the Boy of Silence will let out a piercing scream and will teleport away. The most famous jump scare from the Boys of Silence occurs in the warden's office just after unlocking the gate to reach Elizabeth in the torture chamber. Once the switch to deactivate the lock is pulled, the player turns around and finds themselves face to face with a Boy of Silence, who immediately sounds the alarm and causes the player to be completely caught off guard. Number 12, Batman Arkham City, Scarecrow's Victims. Arkham City is entirely filled with criminals, which are either inmates or political prisoners, and is also filled with Batman's most popular enemies.
Jump scares are awesome. I haven't really encountered any jump scares that I can remember.
The best jump scare of the game was given by a character that was absent for the entire
Maybe in Resident Evil 7.
The scare happens when the player finds a lone cargo ship, which holds crates of roaches and other fear-implementing ingredients. It becomes clear that the ship belongs to Scarecrow, another of Batman's well-known enemies. After entering the ship, the game suddenly enters into first-person view. The interior of is dimly lit by flickering lights, and towards the end of the ship you see an enemy thug sitting down with his head hanging. As a natural instinct, you approach the thug to try to understand what has happened to him. While the camera zooms in closer, he awakens quickly, gasps in horror, screams in agony, and convulses at the same time. All of this happens within a few short seconds. Then he returns to his original state, leaving only the racing heart of the player. Number 11, Dead Space, Necromorphs playing dead. During the survival horror, you play the part of an engineer named Isaac Clarke. The game is set on a mining ship in space.
I've never played Dead
Space. Goes into near extinction. After a distress signal is sent out, you board the ship to find most of the crew has turned into necromorphs, which are an alien parasite that can reanimate a dead body and mutate it in horrific ways. One of the features of the necromorphs is playing dead. While playing dead, they basically lay perfectly still on the ground. As you pass by, they suddenly pop back to life and scare the shit out of you. For unprepared players, this may seem like a quick death, but more than likely you'll be left on low
Ugh.
health limping away until you find another one
Those
to
are
finish
creepy
the
looking.
job, or at least give you another near heart attack.
You remember a game called
Number
The Suffering?
10, Call of Duty Black
should
Ops
play
2
that.
Zombies, Mob of the
I should
Dead.
totally play that.
Mob of the Dead, also known as Alcatraz Island and Sunset Strip, is the 15th Zombies map. It's included in the second Call of Duty Black Ops 2 downloadable contact pack Uprising. The
Call of
Easter
Duty
egg known
jump
as
scare, huh?
occurs on the roof where the plane is assembled. The player is required to have a sniper rifle, such as the Baird M82A1 or the DSR-50, and they must proceed to the far end of the roof to the left of the runway. If the player scopes in on the firework display in the distance, a distorted picture of what appears to be Russman's face will flash up on the screen for a
Jesus.
split second, accompanied by a high-pitched scream. Jump scares would later become a common feature in the Zombies map, later appearing in the map Origins, but this one left an impression on players who just wanted to watch some fireworks. Number 9, Internal Darkness, bathroom bloodbath scene.
Eternal
Sanity
Darkness.
effects are special
Never heard of
features
it.
in the game set in place, the sole purpose of messing with the player's sanity and making the game even more frightening. While playing as the character Alex, when you reach the
Alex.
second floor of the Roy Vass mansion and look into the bathroom, the camera makes a swift zoom inward as you come face to face with Alex's body in a tub full of blood, followed by a
Are you
scream.
okay, Alex?
Triggering this event does not
Are you
alter
okay?
your sanity meter, but acts as a sanity
That she's
effect
laying in a
regardless.
pool of
In
tub
a
of
game
blood.
riddled
Are you
with eerie
alright?
events designed to make your character go insane, this one stuck with players and made their palms sweat even more while traversing the dark corridors of the mansion.
Wow.
Number 8, Condemned, Criminal Origins,
Condemned.
Body and Locker. While playing the part of an agent that works for a forensics team, you venture off to investigate an abandoned school in search of serial killers when you come across a closed locker. After opening the locker, you discover a body inside. As anyone would, you whip out your phone and take a photo of the body. Your colleague, Rosa Angel, tells you that you need to take a photo closer to the body's face to confirm its identity. Once you zoom in on the body, he awakens and grabs your arm, which creates an unexpected shock to the player and character. On the bright side, he has great information for you to aid in solving the case. However, nothing can remove the chills that you
He's
receive
adding
from
that
the
sound
scare.
effect. You know, I thought it
Number
was just
7,
from the game,
Outlast,
but similar.
Hanging Body. Due
Probably.
to a tip from a whistleblower, reporter
Outlast.
Miles Upshur enters into a psychiatric hospital owned by a corporation to see what corruptions are occurring. Once he enters, he is horrified to see mutilated corpses of the staff. However, the most frightening scare occurs when he enters a darkened room and has to rely on his night vision camera. The first thing he sees when he peers through the camera is a hanging body and the remains of a SWAT team that was sent in to investigate the asylums themselves. A SWAT officer that was impaled tells you that you need to escape the horrors of the asylum. It proves to be easier said than done though. While this game is filled with many jump scares, this is the first one and it sets the mood for the terrifying story. Number 6. Five
Nights at Freddy's is
Golden
freaky,
Freddy.
dude.
In the first game, Five Nights at Freddy's, Golden Freddy is one of the 5 antagonists and a special animatronic. Golden Freddy appears as a golden yellow character
One of the
variation
scarier
of Freddy
games is
Fazbear with missing
Five Nights at
eyes,
Freddy's,
who appears
for
in
sure.
the office after a certain sequence of events are triggered. A few wires/parts of the endoskeleton are visible, which share the same correlation as his accessories. His jaw hangs open, and his head is tilted to the right. He is also presented in a sitting slouch version as if he was dead. While checking Cam 2B, the player will see a poster on the wall. It can switch between 3 different versions. A normal picture of Freddy, a distorted picture in which he appears to rip off his own head, or a close-up of Golden Freddy's face. While this picture of him is being viewed, a young girl's laugh can be heard. If the player sees the Golden Freddy poster and switches back to the office, Golden Freddy will be waiting for them. His appearance causes different images to flash on the screen for split seconds, along with the words, "It's me." Golden Freddy will wait
It's
idly for a few
me.
seconds before
Okay.
killing the player, forcibly closing the game. Unlike all of the other animatronics in the game, Golden Freddy does not give any indication of approach or arrival within the office. He completely disregards the doors, appearing whether they are open or closed. Unlike the other animatronics, the screen will be covered by a static image of Golden Freddy's face upon attack, akin to the images that flash during Michael Smith's hallucinations. The moment the player sees him, The player must bring up the monitor before Golden Freddy kills the players. Doing so will cause him to disappear, thus preventing death in a game crash. Number 5, Mortal Kombat 9.
Mortal Kombat
The Crypt
9
Monster.
jump scare,
The Crypt was added in the 2002 release of Mortal Kombat.
I remember
Deadly
this
Alliance.
Crypt.
It is where you use the coins you collect as you play in
All
order
kinds
to
of
purchase
coins.
items, such as concept art, videos, and even hidden fatalities and new characters. It returns in Mortal Kombat 9 with a completely new look. Unlike earlier games, this crypt is now broken up into 4 sections. There are not only graves, but torture devices that, when unlocked, activate and kill the victim. In one section, there are floating dead bodies that explode for different reasons, such as vultures picking at the enlarged stomach. In this game, at random times during one's visit to the crypt, a creature that most refer to as the Crypt Monster pops up on screen, screaming at the victim before disappearing.
I think I remember
again.
that.
This jump scare happens within about a second or two, and is meant to parody inner flash pranks that are intended to scare the viewer. Number 4, Resident Evil Zombie Dog. In a zombie-infected mansion, during the team's attempt at survival, Jill Valentine is walking through a hallway when a zombie dog crashes through a window.
Jump scare.
Zombie dogs refer to domesticated canines infected with the T virus.
I remember that scared the shit out of me when I played this as a younger person.
Food or living things. They contain much of their dog-like features, with an increase in aggression and agility. After the dog crashes into the hallway and startles the player, they must react quickly in order to avoid a
This
deadly
guy talks
attack.
a lot.
This scene was great proof that there is no such thing as quiet moments in video games. Number 3, Fear, Alma and Ladders. Alma Wade is the key figure and main antagonist of the
I remember
Fear
Trevor
series.
played Fear.
Alma
Remember
is seen
Kiefer?
repeatedly in Fear, often only out of the corner of the point man's eye, standing in shadows or darting quickly out of sight. Her appearances are almost always accompanied by scenes of extreme violence. This rapidly becomes extremely unnerving. Sometimes all that is heard is her soft, giggling laugh, or indistinct words whispered as though in the point man's ear. Alma appears most often as a young girl, but inside the Origin Factory, she is shown as an adult woman. The most popular jump
she's
scare
naked.
rendered by Alma is when Point Man is climbing up a ladder and Alma appears through the window directly above him and reaches towards him aggressively. The fact that she comes out of literally nowhere, looks like the typical nightmare-inducing ghost girl, and lets out a horrible scream is enough to cause the player to jump. Number 2, Fatal Frame series, Broken Neck. Broken Neck is a hostile female spirit in Fatal
Sometimes
Frame.
scary games are hard
Like
to
many
play
other
because
ghosts that appeared
they're
in the
scary.
game, not much is known about her, other than that she was not a member of the Himuro family, but a visitor to the mansion. Perhaps unusually, she was aware of the rituals being performed in the mansion. On the day of the ritual, Broken Neck was visiting the mansion as a guest.
guy
It is
narrating
not known
this
whether
video,
she was one of the people that witnessed the failure of
he
the
shouldn't
ritual
talk
at Hell's
during
Gate
the
or
jump
not,
scare.
though it is
Let
likely
us
that she was on
experience the
second
jump scare
floor at the
without
time of the
talking and then
ritual,
talk after.
as that is where she was
Just my
before she
opinion.
died. She leapt to her death from the Moon Observatory. Why she committed suicide is still unknown, though many suspect that she had seen Himuro family master on his killing spree and got scared, choosing to take
I
her own
admire
life
his
rather
work.
than let him murder her. Broken Neck, like many of the ghosts in this game, gives many jump scares. For example, on the first night, after Miko comes out of the doll room, this ghost comes falling down from the second floor, then attacks Miko. She's randomly encountered throughout the night, appears popping in front of camera out of nowhere and surprising Miko. She's randomly encountered throughout the nights, appearing popping in front of the camera out of nowhere and surprising Miko, since she laughs her sinister laugh after doing so. Number 1, PT Silent Hills, Lisa Jump Scare. The PT, or playable trainer, for Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro's new installment in the Silent Hill franchise, features a terrified and tormented ghost named Lisa. In PT, the player seems stuck in an endless loop of a creepy-ass hallway that only seems to get worse. Lisa pops up at random moments throughout the game, which makes each playthrough more unexpected than the last. However, the most shocking jump scares is when Lisa appears out of thin air to deliver a breathtaking shock and send players back to the starting room. There have been rumored ways to avoid this scare, but where's the fun in that? Got an idea for a top 15
Okay,
next
thank
week?
you. Oh, that last one did scare me, even with the guy talking. But I heard in that Silent Hill game that she's always behind you. Like, and you can kind of tell in the shadow, but every time you turn around, you know, she's always behind you, so you can't see her. But somebody modded the game to go back in third person, and she was you go walking through the hallway, and she's just like behind you the whole time, but you would never know unless you modded the game to do it. So that's kind of creepy. Nice little secret by Hideo Kojima, who also does Metal Gear Solid series, and the new game coming out, or that is out, Death Stranding. I haven't played that yet. I don't know. Pretty scary stuff. Join my Discord. It should be in the link description. Peace out.